Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping.
You know my name yet?
And Anthony Lionheart Smith.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Believe You Me podcast. A big smile on the face of Anthony Smith and a big smile on my face. I shortly jump on a plane to Manchester. And today we're going to be joined by three great guests. We got the one and only, the gorilla, Darren Till. He's going to shit all over Jake Paul. I guarantee it. We've also got Michael Chiesa, and we also have Marlon Chito Vera, Ecuador's finest. But enough of Ecuador's finest. We're speaking to Arkansas's finest. Omaha, Nebraska in the house. What's going on, Anthony? How are you, buddy?
I'm good. I just, just like an hour ago, got back from the lake. Me and the wife and two other couples went to Lake Okoboji in Iowa, and we had a good time.
I saw you on Instagram wakeboarding.
I was wake surfing. I'm not very good at it. Yeah, I'm not very good at it, but I tried. I started it a little bit last year, and then picking it up this year a little bit.
It looked pretty good to me. You stayed up for a while. I've never done it in my life. It looks like a lot of fun, and I'd love to give it a try. So how many times have you done that before you put that on Instagram?
Probably this was my first run yesterday. So that's probably like the third time ever wake surfing.
That's good. That's good. They just happen to have the camera rolling. You're like, babe, get this. This.
There was one where I had a beer in my back pocket. I went up on the boat, and then they tossed me another one while I was out there, and I was like trying to hold the rope for a little while and crack the beers just because I wanted a Stone Cold Steve Austin moment where I just crushed it and then started chugging. It was funny. We were ridiculous. I sent the video to Brian. Maybe he'll put it in here.
Yeah, no, he just played it then. I've got to give it a try sometime. But speaking of cracking beers, last night, Mike Perry was getting his head cracked. The reason I said last night, I'm flying to Manchester, as I said. We're recording this on a Sunday, but it will be released at normal time. So thank you, Anthony, for giving up your Sunday today. Jake Paul, Mike Perry, we all wanted, I think, Mike Perry to win. Brian, by the way, I'm hearing myself come back. We all wanted Mike Perry to win, okay? I think a lot of us, we were sold a dream that Mike Perry was going to be the guy to do it. 5-0 in bare knuckle. The man's a fighter. He's a warrior and all the rest of it. But as Jake Paul said at the press conference, which was a marketing faux pas, right? He was highlighting the fact that Mike Perry was 0-1 as a professional boxer. Quick tip, if you're ever going to fight someone, and if you're the promoter, you don't go on about, hey, bro, what's your record? 0-1. You know, you big them up.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? You don't
got to make them seem
down,
as dangerous as possible.
especially if you're the promoter as well. So he's going on saying, yeah, you're 0-1 as a boxer. I hate to say it. I'm not here to rip on Mike Perry. I've still got a tremendous amount of respect. He showed a lot of heart, but it wasn't a good performance. Jake Paul did his thing. He looked deadly. He looked powerful, but it was just a blaze of aggression. It wasn't overly technical. I think any boxer watching that could see the faults. The size difference was truly remarkable. It was only until they stood in the in the ring, and they both just had shorts and gloves on, that you truly saw how much bigger Jake Paul was. I've spoken a lot about this, so I'll give the baton to Mr. Lionheart.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just the typical Jake Paul thing. You know, fights a guy that doesn't box. And I don't know who is picking these matchups or who's kind of going over this stuff with Jake Paul. Whoever it is, he's a genius. Or she, or whoever it is, she's genius. Like their team is, they're not missing at all in terms of they find guys that are dangerous, that have a name, that are attractive to some people who are almost will trick you into thinking, all right, it's going to be a tough one. But, you know, of all people, you know, I always kind of, anytime I'm around Dominic Cruz, I always say, hey, what do you think about this matchup? Because for whatever reason, he looks at things a little bit differently than I do. And I was kind of tricked a little bit. We're like, I don't know. Mike Perry's pretty tough. He's been fighting in bare knuckle. He's looked really good. And Dominic was pretty dismissive of it immediately. Like, no, I mean, if they're fighting bare knuckle, Jake Paul gets beat up pretty bad. But he can box a little bit. He's super aggressive. He's really big. And so his team has done a good job of picking the right guys. People that seem dangerous, but when you really pull the layers back on it, it's a smaller guy that can make 170 fairly easily. He's not super clean. He's very hittable. And he will step into the fire and Jake doesn't have to chase him. That was kind of the problems that Jake had with Tommy Fury, is he couldn't get him to engage with him because Tommy Fury is just fighting from the outside and then moving. Jake Paul doesn't move so well, and neither does Mike Perry. He probably does. He's just unwilling to. So they're doing a good job of getting the right matchups, and that's a matchup that was tailor-made for him. And he's got power. The guy's got power.
Yeah.
And
no, for sure. And
they got athletic genes. The shit that his brother does in the WWE is remarkable. It's amazing that he's able to move and fly and do the stuff that he does is crazy. And he's got really heavy hands, and he can box a little bit.
Yeah, he's got heavy hands, obviously, as you say, athletic genes, and he's just a much, much bigger person. He's not a small guy. And when you swing with everything that you have, and I'll give him credit for that, he was committing to the punch, because that sounds like an obvious thing to do. But fighters don't always commit to punches because, anytime you throw a shot, you're opening yourself up to be countered, to be caught, for it to go wrong. So sometimes they don't fully commit. They kind of throw it. They're like, oh, fuck, here we go. So he was committing, but that's because he knew pretty early on in the fight, he's way bigger, he's way taller, he's way longer, he's stronger, he's more powerful. And he was able to physically dominate him in the ring. Yeah. And when you can do that, that builds your confidence. And when you start landing, you're like, shit, I've got this. And then when you feel the shot from the much smaller guy, you're like, well, I don't have to fear anything. There's not much coming back. Mike Perry had his chin up high. He had his hands down low. There wasn't much head movement. There wasn't much footwork. But Jake Paul was moving a bit. The movement wasn't bad. Technically, it wasn't a great performance. His feet were crossing all over the place. He looked like he was doing the pirouette in there. He was ballet dancing all over the place. The footwork was just all over the place. Like when he finished him, I was watching it, and the footwork, it was like, I don't know what it was like. Like that sound that they put on cartoons. Yeah. You know what I mean? His feet were just all over the place because he's not used to fighting
like that. He's not the guy that comes out, meet in the center, and then we kind of play that game where we're trying to find the openings. It's not Mike Perry's game. He walks right through anything you throw, and then he throws back hard as shit. But you can only do that for so long versus a bigger, stronger, more powerful guy. And that, I've tried to do a better job of being a little bit more complimentary of some of the things that Jake Paul does. But like, as well as he can look at times, he looks equally as bad sometimes. Even the finishing sequence, the punches were ugly and awkward and not crazy fast, but when they land hard, and it doesn't matter what it looks like. If it lands clean, it's a hard shot.
Now, listen, I know I spoke about, Jake Paul's maybe made a mistake with this one, and as you said before, and we were all sold on Mike Perry and supporting Mike Perry and, with our hearts wanting Mike Perry to win. But then when you saw them in the ring, it was like clearly evident these guys aren't the same weight class. Weight classes are there for a reason, for a very, very important reason, because it gives you an unfair advantage. If you're just extremely bigger. I mean, I don't know what Jake Paul was weighing, at least 220. It looked like.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
He looked big. Mike Perry looked remarkably smaller. So that's going to be issue number one. Mike Perry just didn't have the skills either necessarily to do what he needed to do. And I think once he felt the power and he ate a few shots, that again restricted his output because he's like, crap. There's real consequences here. I'm getting caught, and that shot didn't feel good. He got dropped in round one. He got dropped in round two. When he got dropped in round two, it was a nice one too from Jake Paul. Sure. I'm not just shitting on everything that he's done. I'm just being critical because, as a fighter, even in fights that we win, on Monday morning or the next time you go into the gym, your coach should be critical, right? Mm-hmm. You go, oh, well, hold on a minute, I won. So, yeah, but hold on a minute. You got away with it in that fight. You're not going to get away with it as you go up the ladder. Right. So, and if the coaches do that, they'd say, bro, bro, you were telegraphing your shots, you were looping. A real good skill boxer that came up through the amateur rankings is going to catch you. The footwork was all over the place. You were off balance and you were swinging and overcommitting and brawling, you know. Granted, it made it exciting and he beat Mike Perry.
Yeah. I'm sure we're going to get into this, but all of those things are what's frustrating me. Like I kind of was off the Jake Paul thing where I'm like, yeah, whatever. He's just doing his own thing. He's not doing great things right now. But now he's calling out Conor. And like people are like, for people watching, him fighting Mike Perry would be like me fighting a welterweight. Like we're not even close. It's not close at all. It doesn't matter how good of a welterweight you find. I'm gonna dominate in most positions on our feet because I'm just so much larger. Question. So it's crazy to see these people like, oh, he's looking really good. He just beat a good veteran. It doesn't matter. They're not even close in size. And although it doesn't sound like a lot, maybe to the layman, it is, like Conor said, it might have been 40 pounds.
Yes.
That's a lot of weight. That's a lot of power. And Mike Perry has to fight from a distance that he's not used to fighting from. It's so far away that like you can tell he's uncomfortable because it's so far away and the body in front of you was so big. And then he does that very clearly, much larger than this man. We've all seen Mike Perry and Conor stand next to each other. Mike Perry is to Conor what Jake Paul is to Mike Perry. So then he calls out a guy that at one point in time fought at 145 pounds. They may be separated by 100 pounds at some time. Like if Jake Paul gets real fat, he's 240.
Did you see Conor's tweet?
Yeah,
it was brilliant. He says, Jake Paul is the biggest piss bag I have ever seen in my life.
He called him a
40 piss bag, 40-pound weight difference, juiced out of his head and just shitting himself in there. Nikisa, his manager, you should take him to Vegas. Oh, that's right. You could never. The Athletic Commission testing, real fighting, bitch asses. You could never. And then calling out 60-year-old Mike Tyson fresh off an in-flight medical emergency. I swear to God, a fat can of bitch piss. Most valuable piss bag. I'll tell you what, it's not often I agree with McGregor, but I'm with him 100% here.
I'm with him.
As a businessman, congratulations.
Yeah,
but
it's a home run.
Here's what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to get through to people. You know the fight game, Anthony, right? Mm-hmm. I know the fight game. I know a lot of people in the fight game that all feel the same way. The YouTube mass audience that he has, the young people, they were all in the crowd, that little annoying knobhead going, whatever he makes, that stupid sound, that little annoying give him a little one of them. They all love him. But anyone within the fight community is not having respect because it's clearly evident what he's doing. Ben Askren, welterweight that can't box. Tyron Woodley, welterweight that was past his best. Who else was there? Anderson Silva was almost 50 years old after a very, very long career. And granted. And now here he is back to Mike Perry, who I think fought at lightweight as well, not always welterweight. So, and lost to a not very good Tommy Fury. Well, the one time he fought a boxer was Tommy Fury.
And I like Tommy Fury. He's not very good, though.
No, he's not very good. But also, here's a big thing. Tommy Fury is his size. Mm-hmm. Tommy Fury is the same size of a human being. That makes a big difference. He was also a boxer. He's not a very good boxer. He's not setting the world alight, but he's trained in the sweet science.
He understands the movements. He understands the footwork. He understands the shot placement. And Tommy Fury didn't look great beating him. He just was a little better in the simple positions.
But he's the same size or similar size of human being. That changes everything. And this is what I was trying to say. I was talking about this. It's bully boy tactics, right? Mm-hmm. If you're in a bar and there's a big, strong meathead guy and he's picking on little people, what do you call that person? A bully. It's a bully. That's a bully. That is 100% the epitome of a bully, looking for fights against smaller people. Granted, fair enough. We thought Mike Perry might do it because Mike Perry's got balls, but he didn't. That doesn't automatically make Jake Paul a legend because he beat up a smaller guy.
If I stood in the octagon after a fight and called out a middle of the road welterweight, I would get absolutely destroyed. Like, who do you want to fight? Like, I'll fight Nick Diaz. They would be like, you piece of shit, leave Nick Diaz alone. You're way bigger than him. That's what they would say. You're so much bigger than him. But Jake Paul doesn't get away with it.
Tony Ferguson. Give me T Ferg. Let's go.
Yeah,
no
that's
offense, Tony.
That's 2 weight classes. That's exactly it. That's crazy. And I said that months ago, and people were like, "No, that's not the same thing." It's exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. And he's not picking on anybody his size. He never calls out anybody his own size. Never, not once.
Oh, unless you go to the extreme, and he calls out Alex Pereira. And again,
that's not happening.
Genius, because anyone that buys the bullshit is sitting there going, "Oh my God, wow, he wants Alex Pereira." Just like before the fight happened, they interviewed Logan. They said, "Now, what do you think about him fighting Mike Perry when he's supposed to fight Mike Tyson, and this could jeopardize that fight?" And Logan was like, as if to say, I know, but this is Jake. He's crazy. He doesn't care. He's willing to roll the dice. No, they know full well it's a Netflix production, okay? It's not a proper boxing match. Jake Paul's got the audience. Mike Tyson's got the audience, okay? If Mike Tyson can make it, they're going to make the fight. It's as simple as that.
Or he calls out people who are absolutely retired and not in a position to like you. You're absolutely retired and have been and have eye problems. He knows you're probably not going to waste your time with him, likely. Like, you're going to talk shit to him, but you're probably not going to fight him. You know what I mean? And or guys that are in contract, like Alex Pereira. He knows that's never, ever going to be a possibility. He's a champion of the world in the UFC. That's not going to be a possibility.
He said he's going to decapitate him. Brian, just play that video.
He's going to decapitate Alex Pereira?
He's going to decapitate Alex Pereira.
Yeah, right.
Watch this video. I just sent a video to Brian. This is like, when I saw this, I'm like, again, I get it. He's a genius marketer and he's selling a hope and a dream. But this is delusion.
The reason they call out Alex Pereira, obviously UFC contract, would be tough to get him out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I want everybody. I love this sport. And he's tweeted about wanting to go into boxing. We got him on the FaceTime right there in the ring. And I said, "Yo, can you get out of your contract? If he can get out of his contract, then let's run it." And so when I asked him that, he had a pause. He looked at his manager. These guys aren't their own bosses. So I want all the smoke. But at the end of the day, will Dana let him out? That's too big of a risk if I could embarrass his number one praised fighter right now. But I want all the smoke. I want all the MMA guys. And I've beaten all of them. Who's next? He's the king right now of the UFC. So I want him. I'm going to decapitate him and dethrone him.
Any specific?
He looked at his manager because he doesn't speak English. You idiot.
Yeah. Well, so I love that he likes to talk about this all the time. Oh, these guys aren't their own bosses, right? Well, unless, and there's very, very few fighters, of course. There's Floyd Mayweather. There's a few people that had their own promotions. Jake Paul has his own promotion with the partners that he has. But most fighters are under contract. So whether or not you're with the WBO, the WBC, whatever the case may be, UFC, Bellator, PFL, you sign a contract for however many fights that is. And when you sign that contract, you are exclusively with that promotion, right? So it's not about being your own boss. He was his own boss when he signed that contract and looked at the financial offer and was like, yeah, I'm in control of my life. I'm going to sign this offer because it's a great offer and I'm earning good money. But he calls him out because he knows damn well that's never, ever going to happen. Yes, we had Conor McGregor go and box Floyd Mayweather. I feel like that was a one-off. It was Conor McGregor was on top of the world. Floyd Mayweather was the man. He was the guy in boxing at the time as well, and they were both great promoters. I don't think Dana is going to allow that to happen. Not because he's going to risk Conor, because he's like, no, we're not entertaining this shit show, this circus.
Right. Because then I think Dana, he doesn't like circus show shit. And Jake Paul pretends like these guys aren't their own bosses. You were independently rich before you started fighting. It's not like he was a struggling up and comer and made his millions because of boxing. He was already rich before. So for him to like bring it up like that and shit on these guys who have changed their lives and put themselves in a different situation from fighting it's just another one of those disrespectful things. Like, you didn't get rich doing this. You were already rich. All these other guys you're talking about made their money fighting. So whether they're their own boss or whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. This is how they got to the position they are where you want to fight them.
And then for him to say also that he's going to decapitate Alex Pereira, right? Let's remember, look at that knockout over Yuri Prohaska, the way he knocked out Jamal Hill.
Jamal Hill's he's been in there with the hardest hitting guys in the world. Jamal told me he'd never even been rocked before in his entire career. And Alex Pereira shut him all the way off.
Knocked out Israel Adesanya. Israel Adesanya, Yuri Prohaska, and Jamal Hill would absolutely destroy Jake Paul.
But can you imagine the visuals of watching Alex Pereira just walk down Jake Paul and just bam, and just bang his ass up with a left hook and watch him go limp? It would be awesome.
And could you imagine the visuals, just seeing it when Jake Paul makes the fight happen? Dana says, okay, we'll do it. And then when they first meet face to face, and he's like,
what did I get myself into?
Not 170 pounds. Holy cow, right? Alex Pereira's a monster.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's a whole ass man. That's a big guy. Alex Pereira makes me feel small, and I'm 230 pounds.
Hey, I hope it happens. Sign me up. Take my money. Let's go.
You don't see him offering Alex Pereira to come to Puerto Rico or wherever the hell he's training to come get a sparring session.
You do not. All right, this episode is sponsored by Hexclad, which is going to revolutionize the cooking experience. You can do that with the Hexclad cookware. This is where innovation meets culinary excellence. Hexclad cookware is designed to simplify your time in the kitchen while adding a touch of elegance to every meal. Hexclad has changed the cookware industry with the all-in-one hybrid pan that gives you the convenience and cleanup of non-stick, the versatility of your grandma's cast iron pan, and the durability to last a lifetime. That is correct. You get a lifetime warranty. So whatever it is that you're cooking, Hexclad will have you covered. And by the way, it is also endorsed by the great Gordon Ramsay. So apparently, and I don't know the science, but all the chemicals that go into the non-stick is very, very bad for you. Ellie will not use it in our house. So we had to buy a cast iron pan or a skillet. The downside of that is it's extremely heavy. It's extremely big. It gets really hot. It takes a while to heat up. And when you grab the handle, you burn yourself. Well, the Hexclad stuff, it's lightweight. It looks phenomenal. There's no non-stick chemicals, but things don't stick. The handle doesn't heat up. Things cook delicious. It heats up really, really quick. And as I said, it's got a lifetime warranty. And if Gordon Ramsay's going to endorse it, then you know it's going to be good. Rebecca loves this thing. I don't know how, but she says every time she uses it, it cooks the food better. As I said, that's honestly what she told me. She does the cooking, not me. She said it gets better every time I use it. Her words, not mine. But give these a try because, as I said, if you're serious about your cooking, you got to have some serious hardware. And you don't want to use the non-stick. It is very, very bad for you. The Hexclad, of course, there's no non-stick chemicals, but you get the non-stick benefits. It's lightweight. It won't heat up. And you get a lifetime warranty. So right now, go to hexclad.com/believe. You can get 10% off your order with that exclusive link. Hexclad.com/believe. Support the show and check them out at hexclad.com/believe for 10% off. Anyway, never mind that, lads. We got the one and only Gorilla. We got the Darren Till. He doesn't answer my messages anymore. He's too big time because he's out in bloody Dubai.
You're all pallied up with Tom Aspinall. He's your new love life, mate. Turn it in, lad. Have a day off, mate. He's left me, lad. What are you on about?
Oh, just because he's out there in Dubai beating up Mooty. Have a bit of respect for yourself, Darren.
Mike, I think you've learned one thing in this life, mate. I do not respect myself in any way, shape, or form.
Hey, Darren, it's good to see you, mate. It's been a while. How you been?
Yes, please. I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm always good, aren't I, son? Come on. I'm always good, brother.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, obviously we're joking. Before we get into the Jake Paul stuff, because no doubt there's a lot of stuff to talk about there. What happened in Dubai, mate?
Don't know, mate. It's just obviously because I've been out for 2 years, mate, and I've just been boxing. Like my boxing just fucking been on form. I was like, I need a fight, and obviously I was getting let down. Like I had the visa problems to fight Chavez, and I was like, oh. And then obviously, like I had a few other things in the pipeline. Like I was gonna sign with a few big organisations who wanted me like on like a free fight deal, which would have brought big fights like Tommy's and KSI's. But then that just sort of come last minute. I was like, oh, do you know what? Just get me out there, just get like a little thing. And then obviously went last minute. Fucking didn't even know what the guy was, who he was or what he was. And then just like, I had the fight. I got the thing he was just a bit of a clown. And obviously I knew he wanted a little bit of wet. So I was like, all right, well, fucking second round, started like hitting him with a few things. I thought, he's just like fucking half falling over you. And then just started, like we've gone into the clinch. I've like just touched him on the back there and he starts rolling around on the floor. And I was like, is this it? Yeah, is this the way I'm coming back? I was just like, sound story of Darren Till's life all the time. And then out of nowhere, I'm like just chilling on the fucking ring and he just like comes up shouting at me and that. I was like, mate. He's like, I wanted to fight you. I was like, you didn't, mate. I said, you've just rolled around for 20 minutes. You had the paramedics like shaking your legs. Like, yeah. I just said, I was calm. Everyone's seen it. I just said, mate, like, just save it, lad. Go away. And he went, what? I said, lad, I said, I think you're a coward, mate. And he like tried to come up to me, but I think he was thinking like the security were going to like hold him back. And I think he was thinking I was going to like do a little bit of bravado. But mate, once street talk, mate, like, there's none of that round here. So I just went, yeah. Lifted me leg up and just like bomb was this and with the left hand and then like it just escalated. He fucking shot a single on me. Everyone was dragging me down. He got me down. I turned on him. So give him like a few knocks to the back of the head and then like lad, I was worked up. Like if it weren't for me mates and that there, I was fucking gonna go off my tits, mate. But obviously it's Dubai. As I was just like, sounded. It went viral, unfortunately. I thought, you know what, it's probably better that happened because I just knocked him out and everyone would have been like, yeah, he's beat a bum, which the guy was. But now it went viral. I thought, yeah, what a way to come back, Darren Till style. Fuck it, innit?
Man, what's it been like negotiating fights and kind of navigating the world outside of the UFC? Because I hear some horror stories sometimes we bitch and complain about the way the UFC is a little bit sometimes, but then you hear the horror stories like outside of it.
Listen, let's get it straight, mate. I hope Dana watches this show. Lad, Dana's, all right, the pay might be a little bit less. But lad, you get looked after. You know where you stand. You know where you are. You get all round your treatment, fight week, this, that. It's a easy thing. I've got all these cunts out here, promoters, chatting to me about contracts and shit like that, chatting flights and weight and that. All I do now is turn around to them and say, mate, I don't give a what hotel I'm staying in or what business class flight I'm on. Put some numbers on a piece of paper or get out my face. We're not mates. I don't want to know what you're birds up to. I don't know what the weather's like. Put a piece of number on a paper, and if I like it, I'll say yeah. If I don't, I'll tell you to go yourself. And that's just how it's got to be done, mate. I know what I'm with. Obviously, lad, I'm not stupid, mate. I speak realism. I'm the B-side if I was to fight Mike Perry. I'm the B-side if I was to fight Jake Paul. I'm the B-side right now. I'm still a massive name, but I'm the B-side with some of these fighters who've been fighting. So I get me worth. I know me worth. Me worth's not millions, but me worth's not also 50 grand, 100 grand, mate. Like, who are you talking to? So as much as, like, I might go on, I'm not a stupid person, mate. I'm a entrepreneur, and I know the game works. I'm not having some daft promoter sit in front of me trying to fucking swindle me into some fight deal, promising me the world. Nah, it's not that type of party. Pay me what I'm worth, we'll sign a 2-fight deal and we'll get big fights. They all know I'm a big draw for any of these guys, you know, so I feel like I'm speaking sense. So yeah, it is a horror story out there.
So Darren, on that, I mean, I always, you say I'm kissing Tom Aspinall's ass. I'm still out there and I say, Darren Till, I'm telling you, can't forget about Darren. I always believed in your potential. And I still say it to this day. And people come at me. They go, oh, you know, what are you talking about? You're talking out your ass. You came away from the UFC. You're doing your thing. You're trying to get some boxing matchups. How is it all going in terms of, you know, from your perspective, leaving the UFC to what's going on now? How is it all going? How's the journey?
Mate, people like to talk, mate. Look at what the current UFC middleweight champion's done for all these top contenders. He's battered a lot of them. I made him look like a child on the feet. He was a child on the feet. Yeah. If I was a bit more aggressive and I had the boxing I've got now, mate, I'd have flatlined the cunt. And obviously, other things. Like, what are people talking about, mate? He battered Strickland, he battered Whittaker, he battered all these. I made him look like a kid on the feet. He's the shittest man I've ever gone against in striking. He's total dog shit. He's dog shit. Yeah, he beat me. Yeah, he tapped me out. Fucking sound. He's dog shit on the feet. And this is what I say, when it comes to striking, there's not many out there. And we all know that. We know that. We've seen it. So it's like, yeah, people can chat shit. But, mate, I fucking made a show. You're champion. Yeah, he tapped me out. But on the feet, he's shit. He's like a fucking scared little dog. But, yeah, things are good, lad. Things are good. I'm on a rant. Things are good.
Say how you really feel, Darren.
Obviously,
don't hold back.
Hey, Tom might be your mate, but you're always going to get the most views with Till, so you better get me on more, lad. You know what I mean?
Mate,
no.
If only you responded to the messages, you would have spoke a bit sooner.
Brendan had a word with you the other day. He's like, Darren, he's like, come on, mate. Mike keeps telling me you just blank him over like, oh, lad, sorry, I love him. Just like, you know. But no, mate, look, I've been doing, Mike, really, I've been out this, like, people have been saying, like, Till, you need to go to shows, keep your name. I'm just like, I'm focused on my craft, man. Like, I've really been putting a lot of work and effort into the box, like, getting that good stance and that good fucking, and like, I'm happy with my progress, and I just want the big fights now, Mike. Like, you know, I just feel like there's a lot of big fights out for me there, the Diaz's and the Masvidals and all these influences. So that's what people can say, oh, you know, you're going into that, you're begging for fights. You go, mate, who wouldn't beg for a fight with Jake Paul? Are we all trying to act like we're all not, like, begging for fights with Jake Paul? Now, is this what we're all doing? Are we all telling lies to each other? Mate, you're going to earn 5 million quid to Paul. If he wants me to get on my knees, I'll get on my knees. It's 5 million quid, lad. So all these people that don't get it, you're begging for a fight with Jake Paul. Fucking obviously I am. Would you not? Who are you? Like, lad, I swear, Mike, it baffles me. This way it baffles me. That I need out. I need the fucking jet out of here. I'm sick to death of it.
Okay, so what's Mike and I talk on here all the time. Like, where the is Darren Till? Like, what is the holdup? Like, he obviously got the Mike Perry fight done. Like, where is the holdup there with getting you in there with a Masvidal or a Nate Diaz or all these guys? Because you seem like you're ready. What's the
no, that ain't me. Like, obviously, I'm not one of them as well. Like, you know, I should keep my face in the media, but you know, I'm not so hell bent on it. I'm just doing me. I just live my life the way I live it. But I've got no hold on myself. Like Masvidal said on the show with you guys, he was like, oh, you know, I'd love to fight Till, and I was thinking, oh, mate, that like would be so good. But then I don't know what the stories and the rumors are too, with like his promotion. Like, I heard some stuff over pay, so I don't know how true that is. Like, that could be like a little bit of a factor. But then, like, I'll be honest, I'll be real. Like I'm like 6'1" at the moment, like 225. I just honestly, I just don't think Jake Paul, I don't think he wants smoke with me. I really don't, mate. Like, he's calling out Pereira. He knows he's not going to get that fight. Like, he's a clever marketing genius, Jake Paul, mate. He's so clever. And I just feel like I'm not going to get that fight. I had the Chavez fight there. That's probably dead in the water now. Perry, I don't know. I'm ready to fight any one of these. Like, right now, I'm in shape right now. I'm fit, I'm stronger. You know, I took that fight the other week. They said 90 kilos because I was like, I can make it. I'm not like coming off the couch. I'm in shape. I'm running every day. So like, I'm so ready, man, to fight any of these guys. I really am. The Tommy Fury. Like, I'll fight him next week. I don't even need a real camp for these guys. I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet, but give me 4 weeks and I'll fight any one of these guys. Now, like, that disaster what I seen last night, I don't even want to fight either of them now.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. Give me your thoughts on the performance from both men last night.
I didn't watch the fight.
Okay.
I'm not going to watch that shit. I watched clips of it. Mike, I'm not watching low-level striking like that, mate. I'm watching Liam Harrison in 1FC. I'm watching the greats. I'm not watching shit like that. Perry, the walking punch bag, and Jake Paul, just a big juiced-up monkey. I'm not watching that shit. I'm watching clips of it and just going, oh, my God, do these guys actually think they have a chance with me? No, mate.
Yeah, so I was just on Sean O'Malley's podcast, and I said I would love to see him fight you next. And O'Malley was like, "Oh my God!" And just to what I said before, people don't understand. You're a fighter, and you're an extremely high level striker. People don't understand that, right? You had some ups and downs in the UFC, Darren. You fought for the bloody title. But when I know striking, I know your pedigree, I know what you're capable of. People that don't know, don't understand the words that are coming out of my mouth right now. What I saw last night from Jake Paul was embarrassing. If you're a technical boxer, if you profess to call yourself a professional boxer, that was garbage. You are a clinical, tactical, laser-like striker. So pitch your case, man. Get the fight. What are you doing? Don't play it down.
I know. No, I know. But this is getting the fight in it, because I'm saying he's that bad. I don't even want to fight him. So in his head, he should be like, who the f*** are you talking to, Darren Till? You little mug. But I just don't know, mate. I'll be honest. I don't
want to downplay and shit on the fight, but I don't think he'll take it.
Look,
because you'll beat the shit out of him, and it's clear. You're young.
I'm not Mike Perry. Mike Perry, if he offered me a fight on the street, I'd go, save it, mate. I don't need that type of drama in my life. Like, he's a hard mother. Like, I don't tell lies. Like, if Perry come up to me in the street and was like, hey, I want to fight, I'd be like, mate, off, like, I don't need that in my life. He's just some big dumb dope who fights in the bare knuckle and just blocks punches with his face. He cannot fight me in a boxing ring, because as Mike said, mate, I'm so precise with what I do. Everything's thought through, striking wise. I would set him up and I would knock him flat out on the street, and I'd do the same to Jake, and I'd do the same to Tommy, I'd do the same to KSI, because they are not on my level. I will actually go on a 5-week bender and fight them. That's how bad they are. They're terrible.
I'd pay good money to watch that.
Let's not get things twisted, Mike. Tom Aspinall was me and him were main sparring partners for years. You understand the levels. There's levels to this game. Yeah, MMA, I'm quite shit right now. Mate, let's not get it twisted. We're not talking about MMA. I quit that. I had to quit that. I was that shit. Mate, striking. I'm the fucking best there is out there. I know I am. I'm not trying to say anything about him. I understand the game. I understand, like, distance control, feint control, setting people up for the shot. Like, people just think, oh, Darren Till throws a left hand. I catch everyone with it because I set it up in a way that I just understand striking. I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet, mate. Like, even in the boxing gym, I put me coach in the front, like, Till was so impressed. And 2 years, as I say, Mike, I haven't done any interviews, and I've just worked on my craft, and now I'm on the fucking blow I used to, so riled up, because I'm like, I am ready to fight right this minute against any one of you absolute bums.
Well, Darren, you're not getting any younger, though. So you've got to capitalize on it right now. So whatever it is that you've got to do, you know the situation. We haven't spoke for a while. But seize the day. Jump on it right now. But having said that, when I did speak to Brendan last week, 2 weeks ago, he said you had something big bubbling. And he said to ask you about it.
Yeah, potentially, mate. Potentially. I don't want to ever say, do you know what? I'd love nothing more to say. You know what I'm like, Mike? I can't hold my own piss. I'd love to say, but in great Darren Till fashion, I'd say and lose out on stuff again, and just, I don't need that shit anymore, mate.
Oh, okay. Boxer, influencer, MMA fighter. Just that's all you're going to say.
Don't get yourself in trouble, Darren. Don't let him convince you. Don't let him talk you into it.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
You're doing an aerial on me now.
No, I'm not. No, I am not. Don't you dare say that. That's the biggest insult you could ever say to me.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I thought we were mates.
Darren, were you the one that released his phone number one time? Was that you?
It's been a rocky road, that one, mate.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Right. You mentioned Tom Aspinall a couple of times there. UFC 304, round the corner later today, man. I'm jumping on a plane. Darren, you're going to be around.
Yes, I am, but it's going to be a sticky one for me, mate, because as I say, Tom Aspinall, obviously, I love the bones of my team, but little Dennis McCann's fighting in London, so the plan to do with me and all the lads, we're going to go to Dennis's fight, and then we're going to travel up to London, so we're going to, like, get there for, like, the late main card. So I spoke to Hunter, he was like, Till, love to have you, as a girl. Thought, that's nice. Like, he still fucking respects and appreciates me. So, yeah, I'm going to be there supporting all the English lads, mate. Even fucking me and Leon have had our back and forth over the years. But, like, I'm not that guy. Like, I'm so happy for his success. I think he's an absolute sniper. Like, I was even speaking to Brendan today, and I went, Bren, I might just go as far to say his fucking striking's even superior to mine. I've always thought man's best, mate. He's so good, and I'm so happy for his success, and everyone else on that card. I don't sit back and go, I just sit back and think, like, they've got it now, what I had, I'm going to get it again.
Is it hard having an event so close and so big, and Tom being there on it, and like, I don't mean this, like, I'm not trying to be an asshole. Do you feel like a little bit left out?
No, Anthony,
listen, or you just happy?
Of course, no, listen, lad, look, I could have a million billion and I could have nothing. And I'm just happy in my life, mate. I just go round. I don't judge anyone. I just live my life out of it. But I'd be lying to say, yeah, obviously I'm jealous. Jealousy's an emotion. Yeah, I'm like, wow. Like, you know, I had all that. They was all looking at me at one point, Leon, Tom, like, Till. Like, now I'm looking at them and it's all good because guess what? I'm happy for them and I'll just get back there myself. No bad feelings, mate. I just want everyone to do well. I'm not asked if someone's fucking doing well. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do well with you. I'm not like, oh, he's doing well. He doesn't deserve it. Well, who are you to say he doesn't deserve it?
Right.
Yeah. No. I'm well said, Darren. Well said, because that shit just eats you up inside anyway. Yeah. What is the plan, though? Do you want to get back to the UFC down the line, or is it just,
Obviously. Yeah. You see me I'm embarrassed I had to leave the sport of MMA, quit. Fuck, I'm going back, mate. I'm going to get back on me wrestling shit, get me shit sorted. I go back in and just make a fool out of all them, because you know what? I'm sorry to say, them in that middleweight division, now looking at them, the shit. They can't take me down, mate. I fucking bladder every last one of them. Because he's shit on the feet. I understand, yeah, if he doesn't smoke him, mate, something funny's going on. Like, something's
what do you
definitely
think
going
about
on.
Strickland?
He's good, mate. Listen, I've got nothing but good words to say about him. Like, he's fucking just a real fighter, but, you know, he's fucking, you know, he hasn't got a lot in terms of striking. He's just durable and can use that jab. Like, you know, I just be kicking up, ba-boom, ba-boom. I just know what I can do to these guys, mate. I've just got to put it all into place and like, do this boxing now for a while. You know, have me shit on, and as I say, mate, you know, the potential to go back. It's not like I'm gonna get to 33 and go, oh, it's too late. How's it too late? I've already been to the top of the sport. It's not like I'm starting at 33 and going, oh, how'd you get to the top of the UFC? I've been there. I've done it.
So is the plan just to? It sounds like you just want to get some boxing fights, stack some cash, get yourself sorted, and then just go carefree back into the UFC and climb.
I'm just watching these guys, mate. I'm just watching them. I'm like, oh, even all my friends ringing me saying, I know that my friends are like, Till, how could you ever think even, I don't want to disrespect Pereira, like, I love him and he's the king of violence, but it wouldn't be a fight, me and him and boxing, mate. It just would not be a fight. Wouldn't be a fight.
So, like, I'm just looking at the rankings here. Obviously, you give your thoughts on Strickland and Duplessis. Izzy, Robert Whittaker, Nazaruddin, Jared Cannonier, Marvin Vittori, Brendan Allen, Paulo Costa. I mean, you could fit right back in there at the top level tomorrow.
Come on. It says something when Whittaker's shooting for takedowns and fights. Like, he couldn't handle me on the feet, mate. Couldn't handle me. And I think Whittaker's the best in that division. Like, you know, I can handle these guys, mate. As long as I get these few details together in a few years, which I'm going to. I promise you I'm going to. I'm a mature man now, mate, to think differently. I know I can be there with them. And I'll do what everyone wants me to do. Everyone wants me to be that UFC world champion I was going to be. And I just know somewhere along the line I am going to be it. I do know, you know. I do. It's mad. It's crazy.
Well, and I always sing your praises, and people come at me, and it's like, that's a perfect example. The fight you had with Robert Whittaker, I mean, that was razor close, and I think he got a takedown right at the end of the fight, and that's what kind of sealed it. So, Darren, it's good. We're gonna have to let you go.
It's been emotional. I've fucking hell, man. It's been a therapy session for me. This, like, wow.
Well, let's do it again, man. Let's do it again.
Yeah,
that's what we're here for.
Mike, save it, lad. I'll see you next July.
Shut up, you tart. Hey, Darren, mate, I love you, brother. I do. I wish you
very much.
Nothing but the best.
Well.
Big success,
so
man.
Much.
I mean that, Darren. I mean that.
Much.
And I'm always there. Give me a bell. Give me a bell sometime, you prick. Come on, get out of it. Piss off. There he is, the gorilla. Whoa.
Man, it seems like he's in a great place.
Fired up.
I like it, though. I don't know. Till doesn't hide things very well. So it seems like things are going well for him. He seems like he's got his head in a good place. He's thinking clearly.
No, I like it. I like it.
Like, there's been times you see him get on a roll and he just starts talking shit about everybody. And then later on, he's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But like, he was talk shit about the people we want to talk shit about, very honest in his assessment, but then won't say anything bad about Strickland. And won't, you know what I mean? Like, he's in a good place, it seems like. God, I want to see him fight.
He did have a lot of success on the feet against Drickers, to his point. And as he said,
lying.
I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say I'm shit at MMA, but like the grappling side of things let him down in that fight, and that's what kind of cost him in a couple of fights, you know, getting out grappled against Derek Brunson and stuff. On the feet, he's a monster.
Yeah.
But it's MMA. So anyway, thank you, Darren Till. We got a couple of minutes until we got 10 minutes until Marlon Chito Vera joins us. So what should we talk about? We've done enough Jake Paul bollocks. Enough of that. Let's talk about some real fights.
Let's do this rundown.
I'm going to Manchester today. You're going tomorrow.
I go tomorrow. Yeah.
Main event, Leon Edwards, Bilal Muhammad. Co-main, Tom versus Curtis. Triple people's main, Bobby Paddy. Arnold Allen Giga.
That's a good fight.
Mackay versus Manel Kopp. What fight do you want to start with? Because I need predictions from you, Anthony, because I can't make them. You've got to give predictions.
I can
Tom
make
Aspinall, Curtis Blades, go with that. Boom. Break it down. Who wins?
Man, I mean, I can break it down. So I talked to Tom a couple days ago in advance of our feature that we're shooting in Manchester, and I was really happy to hear Tom say the same thing that I've been saying, that I think that Curtis Blades is his most dangerous threat in the entire division. If he can get through Curtis Blades, I don't know anybody that beats him right now. Not in the near future. Curtis Blades is kind of a triple threat. He can wrestle. He can strike. He just doesn't always commit to it. But I've seen the guy strike. He did a really good job versus like Junior Dos Santos. Like he can strike if he commits to it. Sometimes he puts himself in some bad positions, defensively. But he's got nasty wrestling. He can move as well as Tom can, or at least close. He's the closest to it. He's got good movement. He's big. He's really, really big. So he matches Tom physically. I think he's Tom's biggest threat. The difference is I think that Tom's hand speed is going to be the difference maker. I think that Tom's diversity in his strikes is going to be the game changer. I think that Tom can defend enough takedowns to continue to put Curtis in bad spots. So I'm leaning Tom because I don't know that Curtis can blend as well as Tom can. He can get him thinking, striking, change levels. We've seen Curtis Blades taken down in the
Jailton
Almeida fight repeatedly over and over and over. And Almeida's little.
9 times.
He's a really little heavyweight too. So if Jailton Almeida can do it 9 times, Tom Aspinall only needs 1 or 2. So
yeah, but Jailton Almeida's not like your normal guy. He's like he was built in a laboratory. It's like he took a piece of muscle and just pumped it full of steroids, and he just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and out popped his head. Do you know what I mean?
Somebody's a boha. Yeah.
Boha. And then you take it down. You know what I mean?
He's not very big. He's really not.
He's jacked though, and he's strong as hell. And he can take people down.
I'm going Tom.
I said to Tom, Curtis Blades has the most takedowns in the heavyweight division. And he goes, yeah. Tom goes, yeah, he also got taken down the most times in a single round against Jailton Almeida. So I've sung the praises of Tom for the longest time. Everyone knows that. If I'm training Curtis Blades, it's do what he did in the first fight. Pressure Tom. Try and put him on the back foot. That's what he was doing. Have a tight guard. Lots of feints. Feint the takedowns. Feint the hands, the legs, everything. Feint, and grapple. He's got to grapple.
He needs to get Tom tired.
Has he got the power to hurt Tom? Of course he has.
Yeah.
But as you said, the speed advantage is a big issue for him.
Yeah.
I'm interested, just as a fan, I would really like to see, just to see it, how Tom reacts if he's taken down and put on his back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we've all got triangles.
I'm curious.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I'm curious to see how he handles like Curtis Blades taking him down, putting him down, getting on top. Because to say that Curtis won't have any success is very, very dismissive and borderline disrespectful.
Yeah.
But you never know. Tom doesn't have that power. We all talk about Pavlovich and we talk about Derek Lewis, but he's up there with them in terms of punching power. So it's going to be a good one. Going to be a good one. So who you got winning now? You danced around it.
No, I didn't. I said I'm leaning Tom. I think Tom. I think the hand speed.
Leaning.
I think the hand speed is going to be a problem.
Leaning.
I think that's where the difference is going to be.
All right, today's episode is sponsored by Shopify. Whatever you are selling, whatever it is, and if you're not selling, if you've got an idea to sell something, Shopify simplifies selling online and in person so you can focus on the important stuff like growing your business. If you have a business idea or you have a shop already and you want to get online, whatever it is that you're trying to sell, it can be complicated, time-consuming, and very, very expensive. Well, Shopify makes it so simple and cheap and time-effective. It's ridiculous, to be quite frank. When you activate with Shopify, it covers every sales channel, From an in-person POS system to an e-commerce platform, it lets you sell across all social media marketplaces, TikTok, Facebook, everything. Packed with industry-leading tools to ignite growth, Shopify gives you complete control over your business and your brand. You don't have to learn any new skills in design or code. There's a 24/7 help service. There is an extensive business library course, and Shopify is there to support your success every single step of the way. So as I said, if you're not online, it's time to get serious. Give Shopify a try. What's incredible to me about Shopify is that no matter how big you want to grow, Shopify is there to empower you with the confidence and the control to revolutionize your business and take it to the next level. So get serious about selling and try Shopify. Sign up right now for $1 per month, a trial period at shopify.com/believe. Go to shopify.com/believe to take your business to the next level. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period, shopify.com/believe. Let's rip through this main card. Leon versus Bilal. Which way you leaning?
I'm gonna choose Leon Edwards because Kamaru Usman picked Leon Edwards.
That's Jesus Christ. Grow a set of balls.
I'm growing a set of balls. I already seen it one time.
Yeah,
we all seen it one time, and it wasn't that close. And I don't mean to disrespect Bilal. I'm really happy that he's getting a title shot, but I just think that Leon's gonna be. He's fought dominant wrestler after dominant wrestler after back to back to back.
Yeah,
he's in the flow with dealing with this type of a training camp. He's done it 3 times in a row.
Yeah, it's the perfect
perfect time to fight. It's the perfect time to fight Bilal if you're going to do it. Yeah, it's not like he had to fight Shavkat and deal with that problem and then back to a wrestler like Colby or Usman.
That's a tremendous point. It is, because he's just been preparing for these guys that want to take him down. Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman 2 times on the bounce, and now Bilal Muhammad. It's just rinse and repeat. Yeah. The problem
so how good has he got at wrestling? He's had so many opportunities to get better at defensive wrestling. Like
Kamaru didn't really have any success in that third fight in terms of takedown ability.
No. And Colby couldn't even get to a position where he was comfortable enough to shoot.
No.
And Bilal does a really good job of using his kicking game and his striking from the outside to set up some of his clinch work stuff. But that's against other guys. That's not against one of the best strikers in the entire UFC across the roster. If he's going to play a kicking game from the outside with Leon Edwards, good luck.
Yeah, it's like the problem is in mixed martial arts, it's figuring out that puzzle. You know, every time so you go, right, okay, so this guy is a Division I All-American wrestler. Okay, shit, loads of take. Next time, this guy's Stephen Wonderboy Thompson style kickboxer. Shit, right? Then you're going up against a Damian Maia style jiu-jitsu guy, or somebody with a crazy leg lock game. You know, and every time it's like, now it's like a Stipe, great takedown defense, awesome wrestler, dangerous hands. It's like, shit, you've got to change things up, different training partners. But when you're doing the same style, rinse and repeat, it's just perfecting the craft. And that's what we're seeing from Leon right now. He has perfected the craft. The cage wrestling, the anti-wrestling against the fence is perfect. The striking, as we know, is always pinpoint and very, very beautiful to watch. So it's a very steep uphill battle for Bilal Muhammad.
And I mean that with all due respect. It's a tough fight for Bilal.
Harrington,
if you're Bilal, you got to fight him like you're, I don't know.
If you're Bilal, does worrying about the situation do anything for you? And let me ask you this, because people always say worrying. Harrington, are you there? That worrying is pointless. That worrying will not help you. And Harrington was going to elaborate.
Okay.
Yeah. So according to a new study by USC, they found that about 85% of the things that people worry about on a day-to-day basis end up not coming true. The study did say that in the 15% of times that something does go wrong, having that extra time to prepare and mentally, prep for the situation did help people handle it better. But are you really going to spend 85% of your time for the 15% of the time things do go wrong?
So here's the thing, Anthony, because you always see on social media, it's a very popular style of memes. Like, there's no point worrying about tomorrow because there's no point worrying today because all you're doing is ruining today. Things that happened in the past, that's in the past. Tomorrow's the future. So why worry about that now? And I always watch them and think, do you know what? I disagree. They think people, you're just ruining right now if you're worrying. You're worrying about things that aren't going to happen and all the rest of it. And granted, worrying about wild scenarios that definitely aren't going to come true. Yeah, that is correct. Worrying about climate change. Oh my God. I got to go out and I've got to get some orange paint and just deface the Mona Lisa. Do you know what I mean? What are you doing? Get a hold of yourself. But if you've got some personal shit going on, I know for a fact that my worrying about that situation has been very, very helpful because I've found a solution. I've figured it out. I'm like, oh God, shit, I got to get ahead of this.
It's funny. You hate those memes. I love those kind of like videos and stuff. Bill Burr has like a famous quote where he's on.
I've seen it. It's great.
Yeah, it was like on a talk show or whatever he's on. And he said, "You're going to be fine. And if you're not going to be fine, just pretend you're going to be fine until you're not, and then we'll just deal with it then." And that's kind of just how I've always lived my life. Like I just tell myself, "Oh, it's fine. We'll figure it out." And then there's usually nothing to figure out. But on the off chances, sometimes it's not fine, and I do got to figure it out. I'll just deal with it then.
Yeah, Bill Burr says on that one, I forget the exact wording, but he goes, and what are you going to do? Ruin right now? What's the point in that? It's something like that. But, and it all depends the kind of thing you're talking about.
But like you said, are we talking about shit that like you're worried about asteroids hitting Earth? Like there's no point in worrying about that.
No.
But like day-to-day stuff that you can actually do something about, I think it's fine to mentally prepare.
Let's say, let's choose a scenario. Let's say you're worrying about your wife leaving you, which I never have for the record. But if you're worrying about your wife leaving you, for example, worrying about that is probably worth it because then it will force you to do some soul searching and think, well, why do I think that? Well, how do I treat her? What could I do better? How could I be a better husband? Now, granted, at the same time, you don't want to be an absolute doormat and get walked all over. But if you're having those thoughts, maybe you're having them for a reason. Maybe
if you're mindful of it, that's fine.
Yeah, maybe she's not the right fit. Maybe she doesn't love you and all the rest of it, and you're never going to fix that. But you know what I mean? If a lot of the time worrying comes because of something that you've done, something that you've acted upon. Like I'm always making mistakes. I've made so many mistakes and I think about it and I kind of stress over it and I worry about it and I go, right, got to get ahead of this. Here's what I'm going to do. And I take proactive action and I message the person.
I wish I was more like that. My wife hates this because I say this all the time. It's kind of like my theme. I always say, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Which means whatever it is, I'm kicking it down the road because I don't currently have the brain space to take care of it. Because whatever I'm dealing with now is something that I kicked down. It's a can I kicked down the road a long time ago, and now I'm crossing that bridge. But I don't have time to deal with the right now stuff because I got to kick it down the road. So I don't know why. I live in the moment, so I don't ever think ahead enough to worry. That's why my wife and I work, I think, because she handles all the stuff in the future, and then I just get it a day or two at a time. Like, all right, this is Wednesday's problem. Now you got to fix Wednesday's problem. Then there's Thursday's problem. But she already knows what next Wednesday's problem is and what the Wednesday after that, what that problem is. I don't have the brain space to take care of, to even think about it that far ahead.
Yeah. No. And I'm with you, bro. I've got 1,000 bridges that I need to cross that I've put down to another day.
Yeah,
you know, don't worry about it. We'll worry about that at the time. Yeah. You know what I mean? But also worrying about some maybe things, you know, some little, I don't want to give too many examples because it's personal stuff, but you know what I mean? It's like, okay, shit.
Okay, well, I used to lay in bed all the time when we were younger and like really struggling, like with bills and stuff. And I just never slept because as soon as the lights were off and the TV was off and everybody was in sleep, I would just lay there stressing about how am I going to pay for this and how am I going to do that, and I would just worry and all that worrying wouldn't do anything. Like all it was doing was causing me stress because in that very moment there was nothing I could do about it to change it. And I always told myself, like, since I'm not in that position anymore, I won't allow myself to do that anymore. To worry about shit that I can't change in this very moment.
Yeah, no. I'm with you in that regard. I'm talking about very specific things. Like when I was a kid, let's say, like I knew the police were going to come knocking. Oh, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, okay, right. I got to get my shit together.
Yeah, I got to come up with a story.
I got to speak to some people. Right. You know, I got to get on the phone. Yeah. It's like, okay, right. So you with that. But I weren't there. Well, yeah, but you were there. And you saw this, that, and that. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
worrying can pay off. I'm not talking about worrying about
in that sense,
bullshit little things. I'm talking about real shit where you're going to have a problem. It's like, okay, fuck, shit.
God damn it.
Hold on. How can I figure out a way around this?
How can I fix this?
Because most problems like that, if you're proactive, you can figure it out. Or you can just go, oh, screw it. What will be, will be.
Just see what happens.
Then you get fired. You get arrested. You get divorced. Do you know what I mean? There's a million things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes worrying can help you out. And worrying over small, little, minor, insignificant things, yes. And people do that. But
right.
Harrington seems like a worrier. Are you a worrier, like Harrington?
No way, dude. C'est la vie, baby. What will be, will be.
Oh, dearie.
Brian, are you a worrier?
Like a ultimate warrior?
Or a worrier?
Oh,
do you worry about things? Do you have a big worry wart?
Yeah. I worry all the time about stuff. I freak out on a regular basis.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely seem like that.
That
and were you worried? Because I haven't been worried one little bit. Brian and Harrington, you'll have some take on this. There was the CrowdStrike. The cybersecurity firm rolled out an update on the Microsoft system at the weekend, crashed Microsoft products all over the world, leading to 33,000 flight cancellations and delays all over the weekends. Banks were down. A lot of services were down and affected. I had to make a wire on Friday. I couldn't do it because the banks were down. And I got an email on Friday saying, oh, because I'm flying today. They're like, check with the airline, Mike, because, that flight might be delayed and all the rest of it. Have I called? Have I checked?
Nope.
Have I been in touch?
Nope.
No. Do you know what I mean?
You're going to show up and just let it be whatever it is.
I'm just going to rock up like I own the airport and expecting everything to be fine. And if it's not,
they'll deal with it then.
I'll get a drink at the bar and what will be, will be. Because it ain't worth getting worked up over. You know what I'm saying? I see these people at airports freaking out and losing their minds, like the people when they're checking in.
Oh, yeah.
Relax. Calm down.
It's
what
fine.
are you doing?
It's not that big of a deal.
It's not that big of a deal.
Our flight's delayed 8 minutes. Oh, my God. Yeah, well, you know what?
Bullshit.
You're not flying the thing, so what? You can't do nothing about it. That's why when people are always freaking out when they're going to miss a connection or something, or maybe, am I going to miss it? Am I not going to, like, you know what? I can't fly this thing any faster than he can, so... To
be fair, I do sympathize with those people because sometimes if it's gonna be, you got to get off that plane quick. And excuse me, can I get to the front? And you're trying to go through security. I've done that. Excuse me, my flight's gonna board. Can I just come to the front? Because you don't. If you can not miss the flight, if you can not miss the connection by just like hustling a little bit, do you know what I mean? Then do it because you don't want to be stranded for 4 or 5 hours.
I always let people too when you can hear
Salt Lake City.
When you hear people stressing behind you, I usually have enough time, so I always tell people like I can hear them stressing, like, well, what time is it? When is it board? Oh my God, I think it's going to board soon. I'm like, hey, I don't know what everyone else in front of me is going to say, but you're more than welcome to go in front of me. Like,
no, I do. If I've got time,
if I got time, I'll let you go.
If
we're both going to be late, I'm staying in front of you.
So Chito Vera was supposed to be on by now. Jeez Louise. He said to me, I'm driving to LA. Give me an extra 15 minutes. I said, okay, no worries. And now he said 12:45. It's now 12:51. I'm like, are you coming on, brother? He'll probably be here in a minute. All right, today's episode is sponsored by True Nutrition. If you are buying protein powder or other supplements, you should be concerned about the ingredients. It's no secret that the supplement industry is not heavily regulated, and many products on the market have fillers and even harmful chemicals in them. That's why I'm excited about today's sponsor, True Nutrition. Unlike most supplement brands that focus on marketing a product that is manufactured elsewhere, True Nutrition manufactures its own products while marketing takes a back seat. True Nutrition was formed to give protein powders and supplements with absolutely no fillers, no additives, no gluten, and more importantly, no bullshit. It can be incredibly difficult to find the right protein powder to match your body and fitness goals. That's why with True Nutrition, you can create your own fully customizable protein powder mix with the exact ingredients that you want based on your activity, taste, diet, and your goals. What's even more, you can see your nutrition facts in real time as you create your mix. This truly is sports nutrition designed by you. You can finally stop worrying about if your supplements are doing more harm than good. And for a limited time now, our listeners can get 15% off the entire order when you go to truenutrition.com and use the promo code BELIEVE. That is 15% off your entire order. Your fully customizable protein brand that you're going to design for the needs that you have. Okay. TrueNutrition.com, 15% off with the code BELIEVE. TrueNutrition.com, code is BELIEVE for 15% off the entire order. Oh, there he is.
There you go.
Always on time, never late. The one, the only, the pride of Ecuador. Take a picture.
There we go.
Could you get any cooler, you bastard?
I was just going to say the same thing. But goddamn, Chito's always so cool.
Chito gotta win. That's what Chito needs to be.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good, man. I'm great. Losing weight, but I'm feeling great. I'm in shape and can't wait for Abu Dhabi, man.
Abu Dhabi, 2 weeks yesterday. UFC Sandhagen versus Nurmagomedov. Chito Vera once again stepping in there. Former champion Deiveson Figueiredo. Give me the lowdown, brother.
I mean, it's a great fight. It's a huge fight for the division. I got a former champion that is undefeated in my weight class, and I cannot wait to put my hands on it and make it work.
What did you think when you got the call? Was that someone that was really interesting to you? Did you really want that one?
I mean, coming off a title fight, I was definitely looking for a fight that drive me towards the belt again, and fighting a former champion that beat another former champion in my weight class and beat someone that's been in the top five forever. So it was a great fight. The first call was for Henry Cejudo. I mean, of course, we accept the fight, but I think the high limit didn't approve, so they didn't let him ride the fight. So, I mean, and then Hunter called me like 5 minutes later and said, hey, is Deiveson interested? I said, like, fuck yeah, why not? Me and coach were happy about it. And, I mean, coming off a fight like the one I just had in March, I mean, we did adjustments and we're ready for this one.
Well, let's talk about that, Chito. You brought it up there, the fight with O'Malley. We haven't spoken since then. I mean, geez, you almost finished the guy right at the end of the fight. And like always, you know what I'm going to say. You know what I mean? Just too late getting started. Does Parillo just want to grab you and shake you and slap you and say, Chito, what the hell's going on, man? You got to get to work quicker.
Yeah, I feel that for this one last fight, I started pretty good in the first one. I mean, I was pushing forward. There was 2 moments in the fight that definitely slowed me down. The first one was the knee. I took it great. I wasn't like super dizzy. I wasn't like my legs didn't left me, but definitely that shaped that round for him. And then on the fifth, when I feel I was getting rhythm again, and I was like about to find my shots, I got cracked with a perfect shot to the eye. Like, I mean, not illegal at all. It wasn't a finger or a thumb. It was a perfect place, right hand. And I mean, that makes me respect you more, Mike, because I went fully blind, and not just blind. I was like seeing 2 of him. So I had to close my eye in order to see exactly where he was. But the natural reaction of my body was to open the eye, and I was just, I mean, when that happened, I just went, fuck it, I'm gonna fight my ass off even more and get out of my shield. And I mean, I landed a good body shot at the end, but I mean, I just feel like I can say whatever I want, but I just took it as a lesson and an experience. And what we have been doing lately is like we actually hit the meat before sparring. Instead of like just like shaking and moving, we actually like getting a proper sweat. So I feel it's been very beneficial. So there's only one way to figure it out, and that's fight night. Once they step in the cage next in less than 2 weeks, then we'll see if what we did work. I mean, I can tell you everything we did, but we have to do it. So I'm prepared, and deep down in my heart, I still want to become a world champion. I'm still like, like I really have the desire to hold the belt. So I will get in there and just do my thing.
Chito, there's not too many people that will understand what I'm about to ask you about, but and of course you want to move forward and put the title fight behind you and move forward, get a win, and just keep on climbing. But there's like that moment after you fight your way through the division and the ups and the downs and the trials and the tribulations and how hard it is to find yourself in a title fight. And then you think you do everything right. You got the answers. You go in there, and as you're walking to the octagon, you're 100% sure that you're walking out of it with that title. And then you don't. And then you have to, like, everyone thinks that the story stops there. Like, okay, well, he lost and that's it. But you got to go back to the hotel, and then you got to get your phone, and you got to read the messages from the people that are telling you that they're sorry. And then when you get on the plane, and then you get to your house, like, then you see your family, like, those are those dark, heavy moments. Where was your head at then? Were you grateful for the opportunity and proud of yourself regardless of the result, or were you just angry, or what did that look like?
I mean, the first few weeks I was just kind of like trying just to like keep myself, still happy and motivated, because at the end of the day, life goes on. I mean, yes, I want to give my life to be a world champion, sure, but it's just, I mean, my biggest thing was try to wrap the belt around my daughter's waist, and just be like, and just tell my other two kids, my wife, we did it. I'm a world champion. And my little baby, she's the one that always, when she see a belt or something, she's like, when you gonna get the goal? And I'm just like, I will get it. I will get it. I'm gonna figure it out, and I'm gonna like make sure to win that fight. So it's my spirit is still good. I would say I went through a lot. I mean, the day before the title fight, the cops called me Saturday morning, your house has been broken in. I mean, that's not an excuse. That's definitely something that happened. I mean,
It's real life.
I can fake losing $250,000 in the stuff that I have in the safe and shit like that. But when they called me, I was like, well, I guess I gotta make it back tonight or figure it out. But I think that didn't hurt me, but at some level, gotta distract me, right? But we went downstairs, we did a shakeout. I felt great and I felt ready. Of course, when things don't go your way, you're trying to see the mistake. But for the few weeks after the fight, I was just, I was like, okay, I need to do things a little different. I can't be working too hard year round. I gotta like figure it out how to like work steady, but don't be in top shape 6 months before a fight. And this is the first time in my whole career that a full month off. I didn't went for crazy long distance running. I didn't start lifting crazy. I did some adjustments on the conditioning and get my feet more sparky, be more mobile, and I've been feeling great. We went back to spar like a month and a half later, and we started with some boxing with good pro boxers, and then we started doing some MMA rounds. And what I personally did, I was like, okay, I have great grappling, but I'm not the fighter that wanna take you down and hold you down. So for this time, we did a lot of grappling, so I can get back kind of like my roots. But I'm also wanted to like put all my numbers together instead of like just looking for power shots. I know I hit hard, and that sometimes make me stay on the mud and just kind of like block because I have a great defense. But then it's like, okay, I need to do something different. I didn't want the fight. I gotta do something different. So maybe in this fight you will see me throw more. You will see me more. Instead of like just looking for that big one, I'm gonna do a little more, and that's definitely up to me, because Bisping and I have the same coach, and he is, in my opinion, really one of the best ever to do it, and I just gotta like do it a little more. And again, fight night, we figured it out.
Well, the main thing is, Chito, you just hit the nail on the head. it hasn't left your heart. You know what I'm saying? You still want to do this. And you learn from every camp. You learn from every fight. You learn from the losses. You learn from the wins. You're only 31 years old. And I was giving Anthony a kind of a similar talk recently. You know, this is just the journey. This is the path. Some people have other ways. Some people come in, they take over the sport, and they become the man. You know, and other people, not everyone, but if you can keep going, if you can not give up on yourself and keep trying and keep willing to make the sacrifices and make the changes and put the work in and be honest with yourself, you can still get there. And when you do get there, because I know you're going to do that, I know you're going to put the work in. I know you've got Jason Parillo and a great team of people. And I know you've got the heart and the work ethic and the drive and the determination. When you get there, man, it's going to make it so much sweeter, so much nicer. And people are going to be like, fucking, he did it.
I believe that. I believe that. And those are great, wise words, because I really believe that I'm going to get it. I just got to keep walking through this path and keep chasing it, because at the end of the day, there's work to be done, but also not holding into anything. I let go whatever happened, and I was like, okay, let's do it again. Let's rebuild, get up, and keep walking forward.
I love that that you took a little bit of time off, changing the way you've been doing things in terms of being ready 6 months out from a fight. Was that your idea, or was that Jason's? More kind of like you got to back off the gas a little bit so you're not so overtrained?
He always tell me to kind of like chill a little bit, but I just keep moving. I just keep doing something. But this time I'm gonna really take some time off. I'm gonna really get a break and see how this feels on me. And it felt great. I was like,
was
wow.
it nice?
It was like, I was like, because I wasn't like, you know, it wasn't like I stopped training and went drinking, and I just chill. I just relax. I sit down in the couch for a few days, and I was like, okay, you know, instead of like going for a crazy run, I would walk my dog for a few miles, and I was like, oh wow, my body feels. I never felt like this in my life. I'm always just tired, but since I can push, I just kept going. But you know, it's experience. You gotta learn, and life teaches you lessons, and some people don't want to learn. But I'm very open, and I was like, okay, now is the time to like really do an adjustment and let go for a little bit.
In the words of the great Jason Parillo, it takes confidence to take a day off or to take a month off and to know that I don't need to push it to the max 24/7, 365. You know what I'm saying? Because being overtrained is worse than being undertrained. At least if you're undertrained, you're still explosive, you're still powerful, you're still hungry, you know? So anyway, best of luck with the fight. Chito, you're looking stylish, brother, right? What is the sweater? Because I was looking at it, I thought, is that a Blackburn Rovers? That's a football team near my house. Is that a Blackburn Rovers top? Because they have the rose and the little logo on the shoulder looks like it, but there's no way you're wearing a Blackburn Rovers top.
It's my friend from New York, Teddy Santis brand. It's called Amy Leon Dore, and they make sick stuff. And it could be definitely inspired on a team, but it's just a brand from New York that I love.
Does he like sending free shit out to podcast people?
Yeah,
you know, because we will rep it on the show.
We'll wear it. I'll wear it.
I'm gonna send text.
Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. Can we see under the bucket hat? What are we rocking hairstyle-wise? Because you are a master of switching up the hair. Look at this guy.
It's long.
Look at that
You
lettuce.
look like What was his name? Che Guevara?
We don't know. We don't know what's
You
going
look-
to happen tomorrow. I might shave it. I might keep it. I'm just going with the flow.
Hey,
Braids. Go on. Sorry, Anthony.
no, you're fine.
If I don't shave it, I'm gonna braid it. I have to braid it. It's too long.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to talk about it. Did they find the people that broke in your house?
No, man. There's a video. There's a suspect. There's this random chick that hit up my wife and said, like, hey, I know exactly who that is. That's my ex-boyfriend. He's a psycho. He just came out of jail. I gave all that info to the detective, and the guy said, yeah, no, that's not him. And I was like, did you actually check? I feel like breaking in these days is you can just get away with it. And I was like, well.
You think it's because they knew you were away for the fight?
I mean, the whole world knows where I am, but the fact that he didn't touch my wife's stuff, he didn't touch my guns, he went straight for the one little safe and left. It was 10 minutes. It's almost like he knew exactly what he wanted because
like he knew exactly what was in there.
Because he could took my wife's stuff and sell it even easier than watches because watches got a serial number, and all my stuff is I got it from retail from the actual store. So it's like you can just grab a watch like that and take it for service. He's gonna get a red light. So I mean, maybe one day they come back, maybe not. But if they came back and I'm home, I'm gonna shot them until I'm out of it.
Dude, I can only imagine because
that happened to Cyril
like,
Gahn too when he was main event in Paris. Someone robbed his house too,
and it's happening to a lot of people. One of my neighbors, they got robbed. A good friend of mine, he went out to Hawaii, got a phone call that night. It was Chilean gangs. I'm an immigrant here. You're an immigrant here. But there's a lot of illegal immigrants coming over the border, and I'm not talking shit about them, but there's a lot of break-ins and desperate people, and the crime's gone through the goddamn roof around here.
The guy that came to my house wasn't related to this guy. He was like one guy. He was in mid-40s. I mean, it was a white guy. He was a local from Costa Mesa, Newport. Like that guy is around. Like.
That's crazy.
So what do we do, Cheetos? You're walking down the street. You're on Newport Boulevard. You're walking past like one of Jason's many local spots, okay? You see this guy. You recognize him from the CCTV. How does that play out?
It's a wrap. It's over. I mean, the guy's dead. I mean, I'm not even...
Would you recognize him if you saw him?
Yeah.
He's been watching that video. He's probably around. That's what's crazy. Like, you're going to see him at some point.
No, the guy's around, and I mean... And the most person, like, he's not gonna be able to sell those watches for good because the stolen watches you have to sell them for like 5,000, which is dude. I'd rather give me everything back and I give you 10 grand right now. Like,
right?
He won't be able to sell. Like, I had a Patek that is discontinued. That watch probably high in price now. Few Rolexes, my wife Cartier, few little chains that I got gifted. I don't really wear chains, but I mean, it just add up, and most of those watches on the gray market cost double the money. So, and he's not gonna be able to sell that for more than 10 grand.
Well, maybe he's
come a long way.
Maybe he's watching this show.
Patek Philippe's, multiple Rolexes. I mean, come on, look at this guy. Sorry, Anthony, you had a real question.
No, I said maybe he's watching the show and he'll be like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to Chito's house. I'm gonna give him his shit back. Maybe he'll give me 10 grand.
I will give him 10 grand if he bring me all
10 grand and an ass beating.
So
I will put him on the knee.
When I was commentating the Contender years ago, somebody came to my house. My daughter had a party, and a few other people got invited. And this little shit, when my daughter fell asleep, went through all the house, ransacked everywhere, and stole everything he could find. And I called my daughter. I said, never mind being in trouble. We'll deal with that another time. But you can get me this guy's phone number. Get me his phone number. So I get his phone number. I get him on the phone. And rather than talk shit and threaten him, I said, look, listen, you're a young man. We've all made mistakes. I don't want to get the police involved. I don't want this to turn nasty. Just bring the shit back to my house and I want to talk to you. And I was going to give him some advice and give him some fatherly advice or whatever, because I made mistakes when I was a kid. He goes, speak to my attorney. And his friend gets on the phone and his friend's pretending to be an attorney on the phone and shit. And I'm I'm gonna kill you. My daughter's friend somehow, well, not somehow, beat the shit out of him, filmed it on a phone, picked him up, slammed him on his head, gave him a real ass whooping, and texted it to me, right? And then 2 days later, all the shit turned up on the doorstep, you know? So maybe.
So sometimes a good ass beating is what you need.
You gotta
100%.
You gotta make some calls, Chito.
Oh shit!
Oh, it's the
shit.
Abu Dhabi takeover.
Oh,
What's up, boys?
Oh, I got a bone to pick with Chiesa in a minute.
Oh, here we go.
Yes,
I can only imagine what it is, Anthony.
Or you're in
Chito,
a cave.
Before we let you go,
Me?
Chito.
I'm in my house. This is my
I
humble
love that.
abode.
That looks so
Come
sick.
on out, dude. I just built, they just got the building up. I got a big shop out back with the 800 square foot loft, bathroom, kitchen, you name it. You come on out, dude.
That's sick, bro.
What
That
about
looks
me and
amazing
Mike?
out there.
What about me and Mike?
You got a bone to pick with me first, Anthony and Bisping. I didn't take you to be the country type, but hey, anytime you guys want to come out, come through.
Yeah,
North
Bisping is too
Carolina.
fancy for that shit. He gets a little dirt on his shoes and he might fucking lose it.
Hey, Marlon, before we let you go, and thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Number
Thank
one,
you,
where
man.
are you right now? I know it's a green screen. You're in LA. You're a big shot. What are you doing?
It's my friend's shop. Check this out.
Oh wow!
Oh, man.
Oh,
Wow. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
It's called
Sweet.
405 Motoring. He makes everything here. But look those cars, bro.
Look at that.
So this is why Marlon doesn't call me anymore. You know, he's got his friends in fashion designers in New York.
You're full of shit.
He's got the cars.
On record, Michael Bisping is full of shit. Never comes to visit the gym. Never comes to friends anymore. It's almost like you lose a friend at this point, but it's okay. I'm still
I'm trying to pay for these little shit children. You know what I mean? They're all going through bloody college and stuff. I just found out the bills. Oh my God. I'm going to have to come back and fight Jake Paul at this rate. Marlon, last question before we let you go, Chito. Deiveson Figueiredo, give me a prediction real quick. How does this fight end? How does it go down? What is the official prediction?
I'm going to destroy him.
I love that. That is so
Elaborate.
scary.
That's all it takes. That's all you need. Yeah.
I'm gonna put him out. Yes, sir.
Chito, I wish you nothing but the best. And I keep, by the way, the new gym, I am going to come down. I'm just on the road all the time. I am, mate, I mean it. When I text you, I'm like, I even spoke to Lucas. I said, Lucas, we're going to go down and train at Marlon Chito Vera's gym because he's training now. He's 14. He's like 6'1". I was going to bring him down. I'm just always on the road, man. I'm hardly ever home. I'm not going to be in Abu Dhabi. I wish you nothing but the best, Marlon. All the best with everything. Say hi to Jason for me. I'll talk to you
I
soon.
will, my man.
Can I say one thing before we lose Chito? Can I say one thing? Chito, we've seen so many different looks from you over the years. The bleached, skin fade, the long hair, the mustache, the beard. Can I make a request?
Yes, sir.
Will you cut a mullet someday? Just one day, before you cut all your long hair off, will you cut a nice, proper mullet and just leave it for like a day or two?
I got you. Once you decide to cut it, I go full mullet.
There we
I tell you
go.
what, if anyone can make a mullet look good, it's you.
Absolutely. I agree.
I got you. When I decide to cut it, I'm gonna get a nasty mullet. Like,
My man. I love
All
it.
right. Get out of
love
it,
it.
Chito. Thanks for your time, buddy.
I'll see you in Abu Dhabi, Chito.
Peace out, brother.
There he is. He's gone. All right. Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. And if you are thinking of giving therapy a try, there is no better way to start than with BetterHelp because it is all done entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. We all have busy lives. Life's hard these days. You know, we're all trying to make it. So carving out time, an hour to go and speak to a therapist, drive to the other side of town, find parking, all the rest of it, that presents a barrier. So BetterHelp is definitely the most convenient way to do therapy. And as I say always, we're all going through something. We all want to improve certain aspects of our life. And the licensed professional therapists that they use, they can help you with your issues regardless what they are, whether it's substance abuse, alcohol abuse, anger issues, depression, anxiety, whatever the case may be. Start the journey to becoming the better version of yourself, the best version of yourself. Do it for you and do it for your loved ones. As I say, all done online. You just fill out a brief questionnaire. You get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time with no additional charge. So as I said at the start, if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try, and you will thank me for it later. Stop comparing and start focusing with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/believe today to get 10% off your first month. That is BetterHelp, HELP, betterhelp.com/believe. Right now we are joined by the one and only Michael Chiesa. Michael, we've been meaning to do this for quite some time. We spoke at length in Saudi Arabia. We were on a plane from Saudi Arabia. We took over the first class thing. Anthony, you should have been there. Chiesa, DC was standing up holding court the whole time with oh, bro, I felt so sorry for everybody else on that flight. There was me, Chiesa,
man.
DC, Dan Helly, Alejandro Pantoja. Who else? There was a few others. And it
was wild.
Rowdy flight. But there was like 3 or 4 people that were like trying to sleep, like these assholes. How you been?
I've been good, man. I've been good. It's good to be home. That was a chaotic trip, man. Just everything that went into like almost missing I missed my first flight to get to Saudi. Just a chaotic 20-hour stretch. But yeah, it's good to be home. Good to be back training. So
nice. All right. Well, here, let me go ahead and pick this bone.
Oh, here we go.
Oh yeah.
Mike, so I'm in Vegas, right?
Pick the bone.
I'm in Vegas hanging out with Mike, and I'm like, because I really care about Mike. I want to see him fight again. I love watching him fight. Yeah. Hey man, what do you got coming up? He was like, I don't know, man. I'm like staying busy. So then we go through this whole rigmarole, this whole conversation of, well, who are you interested in, and like, what do you think you got left? How much longer do you want to fight? We go have this long. And to me, it's this long, like really personal conversation. Like I felt like me and Chiesa, like we really bonded here. The next day, I'm on the phone with my manager, and she was like talking about something, and then she said, "Oh, did you work with Chiesa this weekend?" I was like, "No, I didn't work, but I seen him at the Apex." She's like, "Oh, did he tell you about his fight?" What fight? And she was like, Tony Ferguson, because we have the same manager. I'm like, that piece of shit. Told me the whole time. That's like the second or third time Mike said that to me, where I say, "Man, hey, what do you got coming up?" He'll go, I don't know. And then like the next day, some big ass fight will get announced. He's like fighting Kevin Holland or some shit. I don't know why he doesn't trust me. He doesn't trust
trick up my sleeve. I don't know if I knew about the Ferguson fight when I saw you last. I'm trying to retrace my steps
all
here.
That happened in 4 hours.
Yeah, you're right. My bad. I should have told you. I don't know why I didn't. I think I just was, because the way the fight kind of came about, I didn't know if I was supposed to be like extra quiet about it, but I know I can tell, there's a fraternity we have amongst us broadcasters. I know I can trust you guys with my life. So, I should have just told you. It'll never happen again, Anthony. Okay. I promise.
Well, I feel better about it now. I'm still upset, but
send me out the circle of trust, unfortunately. But we were talking about this matchup, and this is why I wanted to have you on, because Tony Ferguson, of course, he's a legend of the fight game, and everybody has respect for Tony Ferguson. But as we all know, he's on a 6-fight skid. Right. And I hate to bring that up because it's like I'm trying to be insulting. And we were talking face to face, and I'm like, it's a tricky one, right, for you, because it's kind of a lose-lose situation. Tony Ferguson's beloved in the MMA community, but he's still dangerous at the same time. Now he's coming up to 170. So give me your whole thoughts on this matchup and just the circumstances surrounding it.
Well, first and foremost, I think it would be very much a lose-lose situation if I gave a shit what everybody thought, because that would mean that I put too much stock into like, oh my gosh, if I lose to Tony Ferguson, my Twitter's going to go nuts and all these people are going to talk shit because, he's on this skid and he's older. But if I beat him, all these other people that are pretty much going to be the same people are going to be like, well, you just beat an old guy on a skid. I don't really give a shit what any of those people have to say. As I've grown through the years and matured, I've grown up as I've been a professional fighter, and those people's opinions don't matter. Like I said, it's about the people around me, my family, my close friends, my loved ones, my peers. They would never think like that. So I don't really give a shit. If someone says it's a lose-lose situation, it's going to be somebody that really is not significant to me in any way, shape, or form. And when you prepare for a guy like this in Tony Ferguson, people got to remember, I was supposed to fight this guy 8 years ago. So I'm preparing for that guy because I've been in camp to fight this guy. I'm not thinking about his age. I'm not thinking about where he's at in terms of wins and losses. I'm going back to that headspace and that place that I was in when I was 28 years old and I was training for the guy that was on the in the midst of this crazy win streak. So I don't really give a shit what anybody has to say outside of my peers, my family, my loved ones. It's not a lose-lose situation to me. To me, it's a great opportunity.
I love the way that you think about that, especially with it being a great opportunity. And Tony is dangerous. I mean, even in the Bobby Green fight, he had some good moments. He had some great moments in Charles Oliveira was a nasty fight. That it's not like he's losing to nobodies. I mean, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Dominic Reyes, where he's got some losses and had a tough run, but god damn, that guy's still really good and still super tough. Is this like a bucket list thing? Like, is this something like when they called like something like, I want to be able to sail off, win or lose, who gives a shit, but just to be in there with a guy like Tony's kind of seems like a pretty big deal to me.
It's a huge deal to me because I was supposed to fight this guy. I asked for Tony Ferguson after I fought Bill Dariush. I asked for this fight. Joe Silva gave me this fight. This was supposed to be my first main event. So, and it's a fight that even leading up to that kind of eluded us. Like, we were kind of eclipsing each other at certain times. And it's not something I like dwelled on. It's not like it was like, oh my gosh, I hope someday I get the Tony Ferguson fight. But like, definitely the second that I got the call, I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Cause that one hurt, dude. That was supposed to be my first main event. I asked for it. They delivered. And to have, that's when my back problem started and stuff. So it's cool to be able to like check that box. And it is a bucket list fight. It is Tony Ferguson. And at the end of the day, people got to remember too, I'm 36 years old. He's 40. Like, I'm on a 3-fight losing streak. He's on a skid as well. It's not like people are not reading into the details of this fight. But once again, this goes back to what I said before. I don't give a shit about pleasing anybody's opinions. I'm surrounded by amazing people, and they're the only ones that matter. So I'm excited.
And also worth pointing out, by the way, you're 36. You look 56 with the beard, brother. I'm telling you.
I know, dude.
I thought he was going to say something sweet.
No.
You look great. That's what I was expecting.
It's worth pointing out, and I forgot about this until you just mentioned Beneil Dariush. So I was looking at your record. You used to be a lightweight.
Yeah.
And my question is, how the hell did you ever make lightweight? Mike, you're a big guy. You're a big dude. Mm-hmm. You're so big and so buff that when you're in the gym in Saudi Arabia, he's working out with his top off, Anthony.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah. Of course. I got to do it.
In front of the mirror.
I was in front of the mirror the whole time, pulling all the machines in the mirror.
I'm like, what's this guy doing? What's he doing? Bro, I can't believe you made 155. That's insane.
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing is now I'm becoming a big welterweight. I've put on, since the Kevin Holland fight, I've put on like 3 pounds of muscle. And to a lot of people, they're like, that's really not that much. It's like, yeah, it kind of is. It's starting to kind of show.
It doesn't go anywhere.
No, and the other thing too, it's like, this is, I'm excited to fight Tony Ferguson for a bucket list fight. I'm in this position now where like, I don't have the pressure of the rankings. The rankings make you feel so much pressure, especially when like things are not going my way. I'm feeling the pressure. I'm kind of like a gatekeeper to let these guys into the rankings. And there's just so much pressure that comes with fighting. And like, now that obviously I still aspire to be great. I'm not in this if I don't think I can beat the best in the world, but now it opens up these opportunities where I'm like entertaining the idea of like, maybe my next fight will be a middleweight. I don't have to defend my number anymore. Like the possibilities are endless. And you especially think that when you're like 2 weeks from the fight and you're like, God, I got to cut weight. That middleweight fight sounds nice. Yeah, for sure.
Let me ask you this, and Harrington, maybe you can jump on and add a little bit if there's anything that I'm missing. But you're an analyst. Anthony. I'm an analyst of the year many times, by the way. Just stating facts.
Rub it in.
On this card was supposed to be Nick Diaz versus Vincente Luque. That just dropped off. Do you know anything about that or anything that you can share, or is it mum's the word? Because I know nothing. Harrington, if you know anything, jump on because you're a part of the show as well.
If I knew something, I couldn't afford to hold it. I couldn't afford to withhold it from you guys because I'm trying to regain your trust in me back for not telling you about the Tony Ferguson fight. Let's be honest. okay, let's all be honest right now, the three of us, we knew that this fight was not going to happen on this card. Like, I know Nick's training. I know he's prepared. I know he looks good. I know that Nick is going to fight again, and it's going to be against Vincente Luque. But when I saw it was in Abu Dhabi, I said, this fight's going to happen, but it's not going to happen here. It's just, when have we ever seen Nick or Nate really travel that far? I think the furthest we've ever seen them travel was when Nick fought GSP in Montreal.
That we couldn't get into a press conference. That's what I thought when I seen this fight. I remember thinking, how the hell are you guys going to get him to Abu Dhabi? That's 18 hours without any weed. There's no.
Are we talking marijuana? That's the issue. Is that what you're thinking?
I don't think
just generally doesn't want to travel.
No. Could you imagine Nick Diaz on a plane for 18 hours? He doesn't seem like the type of guy you could just put in a metal tube and fly him across the world twice. I suspect that that's what it is. I don't know that that's what it is, but I'm assuming he just said, I'm not going. At the time he was like, all right, I'm gonna get this paycheck. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna fight. I like the matchup. Whatever. I'll make the travel. And I'm guessing again. I'm just theorizing that it's starting to get close, and they're starting to like get on him about his travel and all that stuff. And he's like, I changed my mind. I'm not doing it.
Hey, Mike, how did you feel about that matchup? You fought Vincente Luque, Nick Diaz, obviously an absolute legend, but he retired-ish for a while, came back against Lawler, didn't look too great. With respect, I've got nothing but respect for Nick Diaz. But what did you think, do you still think about that matchup?
Well, this is the thing. When it comes to Nick, it's this weird, complex kind of double-edged sword, because you're like, this is a guy that's had a ton of wars. Like, this is the guy that, like, go out on your shield type of style. But he's taken a lot of time off. He's had rest. Where is he at in terms of fight years? He's had all these wars, but he's had these long gaps between fights. And then, knowing some of the insider information, I do know he should not have been in the Robbie Lawler fight. He was compromised. He had an injury. He wasn't able to train adequately. He shouldn't have been in that fight. So that fight didn't do myself any service in terms of interpreting if this is the right move for him or not. I love the fight. If Nick is as preserved as I believe he is, and if he's as prepared as I'm hearing that he is, he could really give Vincente Luque a run for his money, to say it mildly. So, but we'll find out. You know what I think? I think that when the pressure came on about the travel, he withdrew just like I thought he would. And I don't know why he did. I can't speculate on what that would be, but I just didn't think Nick Diaz would fight in Abu Dhabi. I have this crazy idea that he fights at the Sphere, because they're trying. They got a couple slots open, and they're only going to be marquee fights. And let's be honest, even taking Nick Diaz out of the equation, Vincente Luque is must-see TV. He is an all-action fighter. He's a fan-friendly fighter. People love Vincente Luque. You put Nick Diaz in there, put him in the Sphere, you got a fight. You got a great fight. You got a great addition to a great historical event. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. We'll see what happens.
Does Nick Diaz have? Do you think he's reserved now to these one-offs here and there, every once in a while, or do you think we ever see him fight 2 times in the same year? Do we see him string together 2 or 3 wins, and then we find him in these main events, or is that possible, or are we just going to be reserved to just one-offs that are fun here and there?
It's the question that you have to ask Nick and Nate, because it's like even Dustin Poirier coming out saying how his handlings with Nate were, and him saying that the UFC's done dealing with Nate Diaz and they're kind of washing their hands of him. Nick and Nate are definitely 2 separate people, but you can lump them in the same category. I don't know. It's hard to say. Where is he at in his contract? How many fights does he have? Is he trying to fight his way out of it? Does he want to go box? It's hard to say. There's so many things you could do with Nick Diaz. But for me, the one thing I have noticed when it comes to Nick, though, is the one thing he always says, he always wants to fight the best guys. Like when he talked about the Vincente fight, he's like, I was asking for Colby Covington. I was asking for Leon Edwards. I was asking for Kamaru Usman. Like, the guy's not looking for easy fights. The guy wants to be a world champion, and he still believes that he reserves the right to be in a title fight. So wherever Nick goes or whatever his plan is, the one thing that stays for certain is he's always looking to fight the best guys.
Yeah, no, without question. And I'm glad that you kind of brought that up about the Robbie Lawler fight, because that's the last impression that a lot of people have in their mind of Nick Diaz. And you said about he was compromised and there was a whole bunch of other issues going on, because the Nick Diaz who's in his prime or on form. I mean, the fight before that was Anderson Silva, okay? He took him 5 rounds. George St. Pierre, Carlos Condit, BJ Penn, Paul Daly. I mean, he is beaten and put on some of the most exciting performances that we've seen. Shit talking his opponents, ridiculous world-class jiu-jitsu, and beautiful boxing. So I'm glad you brought that up because, you know, I think people forget, you know, and there's a lot of new fans out here as well that maybe that's the only time they've seen Nick Diaz fight. And it's like, bro,
That's sad.
That's not who Nick Diaz really is. Right, we're going to let you go in just a minute, Mike. Real quick. Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blaydes. Who wins? Go.
I mean, it's so hard to pick against Tom Aspinall. When you see how big this guy, and I love Curtis Blaydes. I told Curtis Blaydes years ago, I said, with how good your wrestling is, you really could become a world champion, especially at heavyweight. So I believe Blaydes he's a tremendous athlete, tremendous wrestler. When you see how fast Tom Aspinall is on TV, it's like a modern marvel of the world. And then when you see him in person, he's massive. He is so big.
We've done this on the show. We've done
Tom
this.
Tom Aspinall.
We've had 2 hours of breaking it down. I just want quick picks. And if you remember the fights on the card, you pick the next one, but I'm going to throw one at you. Giga Chikadze versus Arnold Allen. I'll allow 3 sentences. Who win? Go. You're next, Anthony. Throw a fight.
You know, I think that it's hard to pick against a Brit in England. I'm going to take Arnold Allen. And he's big, he's physical, and I think that could smother the striking of Giga Chikadze.
All right. Speaking of Brits in England, Paddy the Baddy, the artist formerly known as Bobby Green, King Green.
Yeah. You know,
So how hard is it going to be to pick against the Brit?
Well, this is where it's hard because this is the one matchup where I feel like the Brit could lose. Bobby Green's a tough test for Paddy Pimblett. Let's be honest with you. I think that this is a coin flip fight. I think where the fight's located could play a role in it in terms of swaying judges because this fight's going to go all 3 rounds. No, I'm picking Bobby Green, but I'm just saying this could be bad judging once again. Listen. I'm picking King Bobby Green or King Green. King Green.
Bobby Green.
KG.
Leon Edwards. Bilal Muhammad.
You got to go Leon. I just think that Leon's finally going to get in his groove as a champion. He's getting his confidence after that second Kamaru Usman fight. Colby Covington laid an egg because Colby Covington doesn't know how to fight southpaws. I think Leon is going to look very good. And I feel bad saying that. But it's going to be a tough fight for Bilal. I don't know how much has changed from the first fight to the second fight. Hard to say, but I got to go with the champ on this one.
And then final question before we let you go, and thank you for your time, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always a pleasure. Yeah. Michael Chiesa versus Tony Ferguson. And I need a round and a method of finish. Go.
Inside the distance. I say inside the distance, rounds 2 or 3. I'm going to finish Tony Ferguson. There's no other way to word it.
Submission?
Which
would be sweeter, a submission or a knockout? What would you enjoy?
I think I'm going to stop him with strikes. I think that I'm going to pin him in some bad positions. I think he's going to roll himself into a lot of trouble. And if he doesn't try to roll himself into trouble, he's just going to sit on bottom and get beat up. I mean, we know what's going to happen. You know what my game plan is. I'm not going to try to hit you with the smoke and mirrors and tell you I'm going to do something else. I'm going to take you down and I'm going to kick your ass. So, contrary to what all his fans keep telling me, they keep saying, "Hey, can you let him win?" And "Hey, can you take it easy?" I'm fuck no. He's dangerous as I gotta go put him away. The longer you leave him in the ring, the more dangerous he is. So you got to get out there and you got to dispatch him. So I'm going to beat him in the distance.
Yep, 100%. And it's actually disrespectful to even suggest, "Oh, I've got to take it easy on this guy." No way. You take it easy.
Take it easy.
You're going to pay the price.
Yeah,
Mike,
I'm going to look like a Picasso painting when I get done if I take it easy on him.
Right. 100%.
Safe journey back to the Middle East.
Thanks, guys.
I hope it all goes well for you and come back on the show when you're done. But thank you for your time today and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thanks, you guys. And Anthony, thank you for forgiving me. It'll never happen again.
Yeah, safe job.
My brother.
He didn't say you were forgiven. He didn't say you were
I didn't
forgiven.
say that, though. You are right.
It's like, Mike, what are you talking about? All right, we're going to wrap this one up shortly. Big thank you to all the guests. Harrington, is there anything that we need to get to that we haven't got to?
He doesn't know. He's probably not.
He doesn't know. He's not even paying attention. I don't know where he is.
Harrington's sleeping.
The only thing I had left on the sheet was Luque and Diaz being out, but you guys covered that with Chiesa. So what could I possibly add?
Yeah, you know what,
Nothing.
you're right.
But guess what? If you got a question, you can send it into bympod@gmail.com. And now you're just going to have to get back on the screen. And I'm going to get abused for giving you a hard time. It's called banter. You morons. It's called banter. It's called jokes. It's called having a laugh with your friends.
And if you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you find podcasts, make sure to subscribe, leave us a 5-star rating, positive review. It really helps out on those platforms. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to the show and you leave us and hit that notification bell to find out whenever a new video drops. And if you want to catch over 500 episodes you can't find anywhere else, completely ad-free and totally uncensored, head to gasdigital.com, use the promo code BYM, save 20% on membership.
We got a good question here from a Mr. Eric Helm.
Hello, BYM Pod. This is Eric Helm from Tennessee. I wanted to ask, on the Chris Weidman episode, he talks about keeping focus during fights and how sometimes he had a difficult time doing that. I was wondering what techniques you used to keep focus during fights, and if you use those techniques to keep focus on other things such as family and broadcasting. Michael, I also wanted to let you know, I heard you talking about wanting to move away from California. We in Tennessee would be happy to have you. Take care, guys.
Tennessee has been considered as well. We are open to the highest bidder. Anyone wants to make us a formal offer and pay us to move there, which, by the way, some countries are doing that. You get paid to move to.
Yeah.
You can buy a house in Italy for €1.
Really? Because why don't they want to live there?
No. There's these towns that are a little bit abandoned, but they're beautiful, big houses, but they've fallen into disrepair over the years, and it'll cost too much money for the local township to redevelop them, to do them up. So you can buy a house for €1. I'm going to do this, by the way, but you've got to commit to renovating the house.
Oh,
so
that's
it
not
might
a bad
cost
idea.
you $30,000 or whatever to renovate it,
right?
But you've got to do it. You have like a 3-year window. I was doing a deep dive the other day. I'm going to buy a house in Italy. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to make a mini YouTube show or TV show about it all. BYM in Italy. Let's go.
Why don't we find like 2 of them that are like next door to each other, and we'll just fix them both?
I'll buy one, you buy house. I'll buy 2.
I'll buy the 2 across the street.
We'll buy the whole street.
Yeah.
Do we call it Bisping Street or Lionheart Street?
It could just be Bisping and the Lion Street.
Lion Bisp.
Lion. Yeah, I couldn't think of anything.
Yeah. Anyway, techniques to not lose focus. I didn't really have any techniques. It was just a case of. And remember, don't lose focus.
Yeah, that was about it.
Yeah, don't lose focus.
And if you lost focus, you get punched right in the mouth and go, "Oh, I got to pay attention."
Got to pay. Yeah. Exactly.
But
exactly.
I'm with Weidman though. There are times I have lost focus and been distracted.
For sure, 100%. You notice external things. The ring girl's walking around, someone's shouting a name. You look over there, and you're like, oh shit, there's that guy. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Robert Downey Jr. He's ringside.
Tom Brady.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's we're only human
sometimes
beings.
If the fight's slower than you want it to be, sometimes you get bored. Like I've been in there and been bored and like this sucks. Like this is
and if you're just
shit.
If you're in control of the fight, you're like, you got this. You're like, oh, come on. You ain't shit. Oh, crap. Okay.
All right, pay attention.
All right, we've been going for a while here. Big shout out to Marlon Chito Vera, to Darren Till. Thank you very much. To Michael Chiesa, to Anthony Smith.
To Michael Bisping.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Thank you. Well done to Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Commiserations to Mike Perry.
Yeah, poor Mike Perry. He's definitely catching the shit today.
I know. All jokes aside,
Mike Perry, look at your bank account. You're just fine.
We got to go because I need to pee and I've got a pack and I've got a flight to do. But you see that? Conor McGregor's like, you're fired.
I'll see you tomorrow.
No, he said you're fired.
Yeah, he fired.
What McGregor's asshole. A prick. McGregor's a prick. But it was funny.
Very, very.
It was funny, but he ain't getting fired. Mike Perry, if you see this, you're not going to see this. You're only going to watch us talking about it at the start and think we hate us. Mike, Chin up, you know. It is what it is. That's the way it goes. Jake Paul's a bloody bully. Guys, everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the show. And we'll be back with another episode.
See you on Tuesday in Manchester.
See you there.
Let's go.